so interesting, and I think you will too. A light-colored rock similar to those of Earth's continental crust has been discovered on Mars, and it's the first discovery of its kind. Here with more is Roger Wiens from Los Alamos Labs. It's good to have you this morning. And Roger was you're part of a team that discovered this, right?
That's right.
Tell me how you kind of made that similarity, made that connection between what's on Mars and what's on Earth.
Okay, so Mars has some highland areas. It doesn't have continents or oceans like the Earth, but this Curiosity Rover is sitting near the highland area. And as we started our explorations almost 3 years ago now, we started seeing these light-colored crystals, some of them long crystals, and this is not something that we expected to find on Mars. And so we knew something strange was up.
Then you found there's a KimCam laser instrument that actually discovered the rocks, right? Is that basically what you're saying was the connection?
That's right. And so we are operating an instrument that uses a laser. It can zap rocks or soils up to about 25 feet away from the rover. And we actually operate that out of Los Alamos National Laboratory. We're partnering with a group in France as well. We operate it every other week out of Los Alamos. This instrument actually takes, it zaps these rocks. We get a little plasma created out there. We look at that plasma and the colors of it, and it tells us the composition of these rocks or minerals right in a little tiny spot. So we were able to take these rocks that we saw, shoot them, and tell that these were feldspar crystals, which really represent material that we expect to find in continents, whereas previously we've thought that almost all of Mars was basaltic, these kind of dark, dense rocks that we find at the bottom of the Earth's oceans.
Fascinating, just little pieces that you're discovering. And what did you bring? What are the stories behind the rocks that you brought today? What's this all about over here?
So there's one dark-colored kind of basalt, which is the kind of rock that represents what we thought most of Mars was made of. And then there's a trachyte that has these feldspar light-colored crystals in it, and it looks a lot like the kind of rock that we found on Mars, which you might see a picture of as well.
Where did you find these? These are just taken out of New Mexico?
I'm sorry, but I got these from a friend.
Okay, all right. So I'm just curious, but they look a lot like what you're discovering on Mars, which is fascinating.
You can find some of these in the Sangre Cristos or wherever.
Yeah, and of course they were found on Earth. All right. So what else has the Curiosity Rover found? I mean, up there, it's just so fascinating, the kind of the details that we're getting piece by piece.
That's right. So we figured out that this Gale crater, this 90-mile crater that we're in, was once a big lake. And so that's pretty interesting. It was a freshwater lake, in fact. But we also have gotten whiffs of methane in the air, which appear to be coming from underground. We don't know if they were made from from single-celled living life, or from geologic processes. But that gives us a sort of a real curiosity to learn more about this. We've also found some organic molecules. And again, that doesn't mean that there was life, but finding organics on Mars is pretty tantalizing.
What do you think the future is for not only the Curiosity Rover, but Mars exploration?
So I think humans are going to get there eventually.
You think so?
And in order to really prepare for that, we want to make sure that we can actually bring back stuff from Mars. We want to get people back someday, right? Not just leave them there.
Absolutely.
And so the next Mars rover, which is going to go up in 2020, we're already working on those instruments for it, and it's going to actually collect samples on the surface of Mars, get them ready for a future mission. It'll bring a rocket to bring them back to Earth.
Wow, so many things that could happen here in the near future, perhaps.
That's right.
We'll see. Well, I appreciate you being here, Roger. Thanks so much with Los Alamos National Labs and
My pleasure.
the fascinating discoveries we're making up in space on Mars. Thanks, Roger. We'll be right back. Don't forget more information, krqe.com on all of this.